Hi, welcome to Lauralign. Today is all about breath and some breathing techniques while we do some harder things, some more core work today. Dress in something cozy and meet me on your mat. Don't forget your water. Hello and welcome or welcome back to the channel and to my personal yoga practice. Go ahead and get settled in. Take off those glasses. Rub your temple, your jaw. Take a couple deep breaths in your own time. I was going to say on your own time, but I was like, or in your own time. I swear I can talk. Drink your water. And as you settle in with me here, you can either do so in a comfortable seat or lying flat on your back. I want to talk to you about the breath. So today we're going to do some more core work, as I've been trying to do a lot more of lately, and we will be focusing on the breath as we do so. Could possibly use a few different techniques, so I'll be talking about that. But I wanted to talk about how the breath relates specifically to yoga. Just a little teaching moment here in case we got any newbies on the channel. Breath in Sanskrit is prana. So it actually translates to life force or energy, which is thought to be the breath. So if you think about it, you're not really alive if you're not breathing. So, I mean, I know there's more to it than just your breath. It's like you got your heart, your brain, all that. So, more than one thing at work here, but those things can't even function without the breath. So, breath, it is safe to say breath is energy. And so when you hear the word prana, that is referring to your breath. And if you hear the word pranayama, that is breath practice. So we're going to work on pranayama today, and you really should be working on pranayama every day anyway, but I digress. Let's take a few moments here. I'm going to go ahead and join all of those who chose to start off on their backs. So obviously breath is important. I'm sure we will all agree. But I really wanted to talk about this because it's always a good reminder, even for those of us who have been doing yoga for years. Sometimes when things get hard, you can kind of forget to breathe. So it's always a good reminder for everyone to just focus on your breath. We're going to stretch it out. We're going to work our core and then stretch it out again. With your eyes closed, you can move your eyes around, look up, and then back and forth to the very upper left and the very upper right corners, and then lower left, lower right. Kind of move your eyes around, see if there's any areas of strain. softening the skin of the face, especially around the eyes. That's why a temple and jaw little massage can really help here. Just taking some time to tend to yourself, especially if you've been going all day. Just take a few extra minutes if you need to. You can always pause the video. No worries. Come back to it whenever you're ready. Otherwise, we'll join those who are seated. You can take any seat of your choice, so I'm just going to take a good old crisscross applesauce, flexing the feet. If you prefer one leg in front of the other, you can adjust as needed. Sometimes one side feels better. Sitting up nice and tall. You can adjust yourself as needed on your mat. I'm going to turn this way because we're going to use the arms out to the side here, and I don't really have any room on this other side, so arms can come up, and you can kind of take your right arm, clasp your left wrist, and do some side bending here, just organically, whatever feels good to you. It's gonna feel different for all of us. Opening up through the chest, maybe doing one of these things here, bend the elbows, touch the shoulders. This can feel interesting. So just play around a little bit here, playtime with your arms. Kind of pump them back and forth here. Feel it in your shoulder blades, your collarbones. We can rotate in this little thing here we're doing, this playtime. We can rotate the neck, so kind of keep the head straight, turn the neck, look side to side. Again, working to keep the spine as straight as possible, so if you need to sit on a cushion, you may do so. In fact, I'm going to join you there. It can feel really nice to elevate the hips a little bit. You can always adjust the legs if you need to. Yeah, that feels better. Much better, a lot less strain. So if you're like, I'm good, I really encourage you to rethink it sometimes and just try it out. Like if it's not for you, okay, take the cushion away or use, a blanket, whatever. But sometimes it can really feel nice lifting the hips up just a little bit. So try to ground down through the feet here and the legs, which will help keep your spine straight. We can begin as we are in our playtime here, we're going to spend a couple of minutes here because I really want to introduce you to this breath technique, or maybe reintroduce some of you to this breath technique. Really, it's just counting. But we're going to extend the exhale. So close your eyes, and I'm not going to give you a specific number to count to, just whatever feels nice to you. But your exhale, you're going to count for longer. And the reason is because when you extend your exhale, it automatically relaxes your heart rate. But also, your inhale is swift, nice and full whenever you empty your lungs pretty much completely. So try to get into this very long exhale here, and then big inhale. You can even hold your breath at the top if you need to, if you want to, if it comes naturally to you. And just let the breath guide you in whatever you need. You can plant a palm, do a stretch, side body stretch here, keeping nice and straight in the neck, long neck, trying not to crunch it to any sort of side. Namaste, hands at the heart. Couple more breaths here. Try your best to take this breath with you to all fours in your own time. Use that cushion for your knees if you like. Cat-cow playtime now. Really just letting your breath be your guide more so than myself today. So, hopefully you're at least somewhat familiar with these moves, because I'm not getting so much into the guidance of what each move is supposed to be today, just more so focusing on the breath. If you find yourself breathing hard or not breathing, please take a step back and make sure you can get back to that nice long exhale and a swift full inhale, diaphragmatic belly breath. Biggest breath you've taken all day, pretty much every time. can feel it in your chest even. So a little cat-cow, child's pose, hero's pose, playtime. If you're finding it a little difficult to get to an extended exhale, I will share a little tip or trick with you on what I did when I was first starting out with pranayama. Honestly, it really triggered my anxiety to even think about my breath at first. So if you're right there, honestly, it can come with practice. It will come with practice. Not it can, but it will come with practice. So just stick with it and definitely start counting. Hi, Goo. And when you count, I recommend starting counting to an even number. So start with your inhale. You're going to count your inhale first and your exhale second, obviously. You can also choose to count the hold in between if you wish, for an extra layer of complexity, but don't feel like you need to. That's just obviously an option. But add 2 to your exhale to start with. And once you're comfortable with that, increase it to 4. So if I were counting my breaths right now, I'd probably say my inhale is like a 2 and my exhale is like a 10 to 12 or more. With a hold also, which is certainly something relatively new that I'm able to do. So as I am strengthening my core, I'm finding that it's easier to breathe. Who would have thought? We can do a little hovering cat optional. So if you are gonna join me here, you can always, you should be counting. So I was gonna say you can count your breaths, but you should just be counting the length of your breaths anyway. So no need to count anything extra. And hovering cat. Back to child's pose. For me, I always let my hands land wherever they want here. A lot of times you'll see them up by my face just because of how tight my shoulders have been. So it doesn't have to look like any typical child's pose that you've really ever seen. Reminder about extending the exhale in case your breath has gotten away from you during that hovering cat. Gonna work a little bit on balancing table. Really, we're just staying low to the ground today, more so than usual. little optional crunch there. Finding foundation. Crunching this side. And drop it back down. Child's pose. I think this is the first time I'm really able to maintain this type of breath while I've been talking. So I'm actually kind of super impressed with myself and proud of how far I've come. So if I can do this while talking, I promise you guys can do it while not talking. It just takes time. Don't get down on yourself. But speaking of down, let's go to a downward facing dog after an optional plank. I'm just feeling crazy today. Let's use this breath. Downward facing dog on an exhale. I feel like this microphone is in the way of my arm. Scooting the hands back. I love a nice forward fold. Super bent knees here. Focus on just letting go. Sink back on the heels. Press into all four corners of your feet. Bum straight up in the air as high as it can go. Relax the weight of the head and everything over. Chin can come to the chest. And drop it back down. Come through seated and on your back, because I'll tell you what, it's about twisting time and Shavasana time for me. Knees can come to the chest. It's up to you if you want to retain this breath or if you want to let it go, go for it. Or if you've already let it go, don't blame ya. It's a practice, like I said. Nice hug to ourselves here as we rock back and forth on the mat. Let's go for a little happy baby. So grab the outer edges of the feet, bend the knees, feet parallel with the ceiling or the sky, whatever's above you. Nice little hip opener there. Sometimes I even like to put my feet together like a reclined cobbler here. Playing with the pelvis a little bit in this pose can really stretch the tailbone area, in my experience. So that might be a thing. Do some little wiggling. Find whatever you need. So just a little stretching, couple moments here. And whenever you're ready, you can do hips to the right, stack those knees, melt them to the left, slowly. Can always kind of tuck the shoulder blades underneath you. And when you're ready, same thing on the other side, hips to the left, stack those knees, drop them to the right, flex the feet. Coming into Shavasana by coming back to center here, leaving the knees up and folding them in together, feet as wide as the mat. Or you can go in for a nice full body stretch as you go into a typical Shavasana, legs out long. So dealer's choice here, whatever you want. I hope that your breath practice went well, and if it wasn't quite what you expected, don't worry. There's always another chance to try, so if it didn't go, as well, don't beat yourself up about it. Tomorrow's a new day. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me and trusting me and coming with me on this journey. And remember to be nice to each other, because it is all a ripple effect. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.